Morning, everybody. Welcome back to Ogresspeedshop. In a field with a mini square body. Can we get it running and driving? Drive all the way home? Let's find out. This might be an interesting revival here because we got a nice big giant anthill here. Hopefully there isn't too much more around the rest of it. Looks like the tires are holding air and we should be able to drive it out of here if we get it running. Definitely got to unload some stuff. It's a little dinged up. There's nothing a new bed or even a flat bed won't take care of. So let's go ahead and dive into it, see what we got. I'm not even sure what year it is. I don't know what engine it has. The reason why I wanted it because I had a 91 when I graduated high school. I graduated high school about 3 months later. I bought a brand new truck, 1991 S10, 4-wheel drive, 5-speed. I know this isn't a 4-wheel drive or 5-speed, but still, it's the right body style that I like. And we're gonna see if we can get this running and drive it home. I think the first line of business is gonna get this cleared out a little bit. So I'm gonna weed eat. Hopefully I don't get bit up by these ants while I'm working on it. I don't know, I'll maybe spray some stuff. I don't have any bug spray, but we'll figure something out. Took a little longer than I expected just because the weed eater wasn't working right. Gives a little better look at it with the grass cut down around it. So let's see if we can figure out what year this thing is. Let's see if the door sticker's still on there. Well, not there. There we go. You gotta be kidding me. 06 of 91. So this is a 1991, same year as mine, which is cool. So this is the same year as my very first truck. Keys are in it. Yep. Dead battery. Have to lube those up a little bit. What is that? It's a generator. Interesting. So yeah, let's get this thing. Let's check the glove box real quick because he said the title might be in it. Well, found an old registration. So last time registered was 2018. So yeah, I got some work ahead of us. I think the next thing is just get the hood popped open, see what we got, because I don't know if it's a 4.3, which would be great, or if it's a 2.1 4-cylinder, which is more than likely going to be that. So let's get her popped open. I think the odds are it'll actually open. Oh, well, something popped. Look at that. Now, a mice nest, and we have what appears to be a 6-cylinder and a mouse. Kind of expected to see something under here like that. Yum. And this is throttle body injected. Yeah. So I do believe that's the 4.3 liter. Yep, get something to wipe that off with because it's nasty. Let's bring it in and see what we got. Look at that. 4.3 liter. Definitely a little V6. Isn't it funny how there's a V8 that's a 4.3 liter too? But this is basically a V8 with minus 2 cylinders. Same design, everything. So, oh boy, look at all that. Let's get some of that cleaned up so we can get this air cleaner off. See what we got. We know the battery's dead. So, is there a date on that? The value power. 18. So, what is that, 7 years old? We get that other nest out of there. And probably that wasp nest as well. Let's get the air cleaner off and see what we got underneath there. Got rid of one of the wasp nests. I don't know if I killed them or not, but brake clean works pretty good. I'm sure we'll find more. Just hope I find them before they find me. Oh yeah, a little TBI, a little throttle body injected. And very clean. A little bit of crap around the air cleaner. So we'll leave the filter in place for now. Let me get the battery out so we can switch it out. Actually, before we do that, let's try to jump it. It's on, turn her on, see if we have any power. Got a bit buzzer. Probably should check the oil first, huh? But nope, not enough to crank it. I don't think we got enough cranking power there. So let's get that out of there, see if the other battery will crank it. We'll check the oil real quick too. Get that out of there. All right, while we're here, let's check the oil. It's got some in it. It's over full, but way over full. Smells a little gassy. Any way to get our hands down there on the crank pulley. I don't really want to crawl underneath it because there's a big old ant hill right here, and they're red ants. Maybe put something on the alternator and see if this stuff will spin. Why not? Yeah, the crank's moving. Didn't get one full revolution out of it yet. We just passed one revolution. Yep. All right. So we know the engine will spin. We do have this power safe battery. It's a dry cell battery that I've had forever. Let's hope it has enough juice to maybe crank this thing over. It worked for the Camaro. So, and it has both side post and top post capabilities. If that's got enough juice. Maybe the battery or the starter just ain't working. I don't know. Ready? What's Derek say? Bring the thunder. All right. We got crank. See if we'll start it up or not. So let's see if it'll release fire. Look at that. Yeah, we're definitely not getting fuel, obviously. Now the question is, how do we change that? I do have a fuel pump that might work that we can rig up temporarily. I don't think these take a lot of pressure. The one I got doesn't have much pressure, so. But we know she's got spark. We know she'll run. We just need to get fuel to her. That's pretty cool. So a little backstory on it. I don't know much about it, just from what the guy I got it from said. He said it did run, and this, like the last time I saw this thing move was probably 2 years ago. I didn't see it move. It just went from over there to over here, and says it ran, but it ran bad. So there we go. This is what we're working with. So I got plenty of transmission fluid. I'm just happy it's a 4.3 liter because I can live with that being the engine in it instead of doing a swap on it or something. So if we can get this thing running, mint, then we can just run it the way it is, which will be fine by me. I never realized how small these things actually are until I stood next to one. It's as an adult. Yeah. All right, so I gotta figure out a fuel system because that's what's holding us back at this point. So the fuel pump definitely ain't kicking on. The relay is. You can hear it clicking and then resetting. So so purge and then shut off. So I'm gonna scope the tank and see what we got in there. Here in this bright sun. Looks good. I don't see any rust. Let's try to put some gas in it. This should be enough. Let's... I'm going to grab a fuel pump that might work. The only bad thing is it's going to shoot the return back to the back, but see if we can get something going on this. I didn't film it because there was a swarm of wasps and bees and everything all around that truck. So I ended up cutting a hole, and I'll show you that when we go back to the truck, in the bed to retrieve the fuel pump. Because I wanted to test it to make sure it was actually bad, and it is. It just arcs and sparks when I try to put power to it. So it's definitely frozen up. And the other thing I discovered was the return line was completely clogged up, and that's what came out of it when I finally got it freed up. It just blew out this nasty whatever. So the return line was all nice and clogged. The rest of the lines are good. One's just a vent for the fill tank, but got a new pump. They had it in stock at O'Reilly's. So I got a new filter, new pump, and a new sock for, well, this thing right here. So let's get this pump installed. So let's get this little pump off here. First thing to do, you gotta get this little sock off of here. It's holding with a clip around the bottom of the pump. It just slides right off. Well, that's nasty. In order to get it out of there, for one, we gotta cut the hose right here. We got a new one for that. Though it looks like this one's a little, new one looks smaller, but we'll see what it, as far as what it goes. And unplug it. I think this might actually be the same plug, so we won't have to rewire it, hopefully. Even if we do, it's no big deal. It's only 2 wires. I don't know why I did that, but so that should come out of there now once we get this hose off of here. So there's a hose. Once we get that off of there, it should come right off. So I'm going to basically do this the easiest way possible. I'm just going to cut the straps. Yeah, there's the pump out. And there's the hose out. Let's see if we'll have to test the sending unit too to see if it still works or not. Let's check out this new one. Well, the cheapest one they had is $27. Figure if I need to upgrade, then I will later. But this is just to get her home. And that looks like the exact same plugs. That means we don't have to rewire, which is awesome. So that's the hose it came with. It's weird, it's fat but I don't know, just weird. Came with a new rubber piece for down here. So get rid of the old one. It's all tore up. So it's a little rubber isolator. Came with new rings as well. And it came with the weatherproof style crimps if you need to, but we don't need to. Came with a new seal too. We'll take that with us. I'm not sure if we need it or not. And it came with these little zip tie style clamps to hold it in. So let's see if she at least matches up with the original. Let's say that is dead nuts on. Right on. So it'll go on like that. Piece of hose in between. Let's see if that'll fit. There we go. One pump installed. Let's get these zip tie things on. Well, let's plug it in first. Get these little clamp things on. Yeah, there's one finished pump. Let's test it to make sure it turns on. There it goes. All right, now we got a good pump. So I had to cut the ground wires at the truck because they were tied into the frame and I couldn't reach them from where I cut the hole. So no big deal, we'll just place those back together when we're done. All right, so now we need the sock. I wish I remembered how it went. Was it sideways or was it? I'm gonna look at the video real quick. All right, so the sock goes parallel with the, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It goes like this. There we go. What a pain in the butt. All right, so we got one complete sending unit here. Let's test the sending unit real quick, make sure it works. Well, I'm not sure what the range is, but it's reading something, so it's kind of working. I guess we'll find out later. I'm not too worried about the fuel level right now, but it does work, sort of. All right, let's get it back over the truck and get it installed. I'm going to show you real quick the hole I made. See all these freaking wasps and stuff in here? I don't know if you can see them or not, but here's the hole I made. So, and it was a pain in the butt because it's got like a 1/4 inch of bed liner material. And yeah, we got a little bit dirty, but I didn't even way blowing it out. So let's get that pump installed. Well, we got her running. That ain't sounding good though. Not sure where that was coming from, but it's hard to keep it running. And it's making that bad awful knocking noise. I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to drive it home or not. Not with that noise. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Kind of sounds like it's coming from the top end over here, but I don't know for sure. Can't tell if the fan's hitting. Can't tell where the noise is coming from because I can't keep it running long enough. So we might have to tow her home, just because I don't know what that is. Yep, I think we'll go get the trailer. Yeah, that knock is definitely too bad. I need to get it home to be able to look at it. But yeah, let's get her home, get her in the trailer, get her home. Yeah, I'm facing a little agony of defeat here. So I got her loaded up on the trailer to take home. So I know it may sound like it's a long drive, but it's only 2 miles away. But yeah, let's get it home and so we can figure out what that knocking is. Hopefully it's not bottom end. Hopefully it's a broken push rod or something. Not a actual rod. So let's get her home. Now we got her back to the house, right next to the other field. Find it. Came out of the same field, or the same property anyways. So I'll probably dig into it a little bit more tomorrow. I am dead tired after dealing with this thing all day. And but I'll definitely get back on it tomorrow, I'm sure. Figure out what that knock is. We did get it running, so it's not a complete loss. It's running, but that knock needs to be taken care of. And hopefully it's not the bottom end. It's just like a bad rocker or a bad push rod or broken spring or something like that. But we will find out. It's coming, seems to be coming from the passenger side. So I'll pull the valve cover off over there tomorrow and see what we got. But yeah, at least she's home. And you know, engines are engines. We need them for everything around here. At least the 70 is pretty close to being done. I think today we're going to dig into this. I want to pull this valve cover off over here, just to see if something, hopefully there's a bad push rod or bad spring or bad rocker or something makes it easier, you know, an easy fix. But I think first, because I don't want to work with this thing being so nasty, we're going to pressure wash it. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to pressure wash electronic cars, but I used to have one of these back in '91, and I used to wash it all the time at the car wash. So I think it'll be all right. So I get some of this dirt out of here. I just don't spray directly into the electronic stuff. Let's get the pressure washer out and get this thing cleaned up. Well, that'll make a big difference in working in here, trying to stay somewhat clean, but we should be able to get to these valve covers pretty easily. Maybe just move a couple things out of the way. What is that? Oh, the AC hose goes right over top of it. That's the heater hose. Okay, we can remove that if we need to. No big deal. So yeah, about time to dig into this and see if we have anything broken under there. Hopefully it's under there and not down below. But either way, doesn't really matter. Pump up all the tires just to see what it looks like. These are all 205/75s. But the one bad tire, which is losing air as we speak, it's a 195/75 14. So look how cracked it is down here, and it's leaking out of it pretty quick. So it's gonna need tires. They're all cracked and pretty nasty, so no big deal. They're 14s. They shouldn't be too expensive, right? So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into this valve cover. So right now, working on getting this heater hose out of here. I thought just popping it out would be good, but it's bolted to the back of the head. So brought some ratcheting wrenches. I think it's probably, what size is that? Feels like a 15. Get this on here if I have to get a regular wrench. I would grab my, and I'm tightening, not loosening. I bought a set of swivel ratcheting wrenches, just Pittsburgh ones, because I needed something a while back just to get in there, and that's not going to work. And I gave them to my son when he was out here because he wanted them. Let's try my little stubby offset wrench here. This thing's all about feel. There's a wire harness in the way. There's a dipstick tube in the way for the transmission. Yep, I can't get that on there. So we're going to try a quarter drive ratchet here. See if we can get this in here. This is the first time I've actually worked on a 4.3 liter. I've owned them, or yeah, I've owned a couple. There it goes. But that was long before I ever actually got into working on cars. Oh man. Although, interesting story. The reason why I started working on cars was because of my 91 S10. Because I took it in to the dealership for some warranty work on the four-wheel drive pump. And it was brand new. Like, I had it for like 3 months. And they wanted to charge me $280 for the work. I'm like, it's got a warranty. Oh, that only covers this, this, and this. I'm like, no. It says right here, it's covered bumper to bumper. So they made a mistake of leaving the keys on the desk. So I grabbed them and walked out. And never went back. So I started working on everything myself. But that's the reason why I got into working on cars. Compliments of a dealership. Not saying they're all bad, but I think I even paid extra for the extended warranty or something too. I wish this thing would loosen enough for me to do it by hand. So I'm gonna run out of room. I can get it out without dropping it. There we go. Got her. Pain in the butt. All right, now will this heater hose release? Because just because they're quick release doesn't mean they actually quick release. Oh man, that ain't gonna go. Might as well try these hose pliers. Get some of this stuff out of the way. I know it's gonna break. That's what these things do. Quick release my butt. Nothing quick release about them. They're quick to break. Oh, there we go. Oh, what a pain in the butt that was. If you wonder what I'm talking about as far as quick release goes, it's these little things are like the fuel lines. They got a hard case in there, or like a hard fitting, and these clip down into it. It's supposed to be quick release, and they got a little O-ring that seals it. But I hate them because they don't. They're a pain in the butt. I'd rather have an good old hose clamp to get to. One thing I'm waiting to happen here, working on the edge of this trailer here, is forgetting I'm on a trailer and step off. Break my leg or something. It must be. I did 9/16. Oh man. I need a bigger wrench. Alright, let's try this again. Well, that was almost too easy. Some of you remember earlier I talked about how this 4.3 liter is basically a 5.7 liter with just 2 cylinders backed or cut off of it. What I was talking about is, as far as I remember, now I'm not gonna, say this in stone for sure, but as far as the front accessories go, they're all the same. But you can fit stuff from a 350 onto a 4.3 liter, and basically all you do is cut the last 2 cylinders off in the back. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I've never delved deep enough into it to find out. Yeah, I need an extension. But that's what I've heard. Oh yeah, and by the way, the tire in the back's already flat. Didn't take long at all. Which I didn't think it would, but I need a longer extension. That's a bolt. Map sensor plug's always broken. The tab's always broken. I don't think I've ever seen one that's not. Alright, there's one thing out of the way. PCV valve out of here, which is completely jammed up, so that wasn't doing any good. That temp sensor going up over. And tab on that's broken too. Alright, so I think we got enough room to get this out of here now. Now let's get this valve cover off and hope we find something. These are all 3/8. Okay, come on, be broken. Something be broken under here. Not looking good so far. It's pretty nasty in there, but definitely don't see any damage. This couldn't be that easy, could it? Oh well. I haven't even looked. Maybe there's a dent in the oil pan that'll give it away. Maybe we need to put some power to it and see what it does. So one of the things I noticed when I was tooling around earlier, see this plug right here? That's your oil sending unit plug. So that's the electronics for the oil sender. And when you look down, you can't really see it. The oil port for that is blocked off. They got a plug in it. So I wonder if they were having oiling issues. And they just said, oh, let's just take it out and say the heck with it. But yeah, I don't know. Suppose we could take this side off too, just to make sure there's nothing broken on it. So it sounds like it's coming from the top end, but that don't mean nothing. I got the other side valve cover off, and again, don't see anything that stands out. Like one kind of loose rocker, but yeah, I don't think it's top end. So I'm gonna jack it up, get underneath there so I can see the oil pan. Maybe it's just dented at the bottom or like somewhere near the front of it, and it's just hitting the crank. Yeah, I've seen that happen before, but it's usually on a Mopar. But anyways, so let's get it jacked up and see what we find. So I just want to kind of state, oil changes and maintenance are a good idea, because whoever had this did not bother with it. So I got up underneath here and I realized, well, I've got it jacked up now, but the pan was resting on the cross member, the K member here. So I guess it's still a possibility. So what I need to do is hook up the trigger so I can crank it and listen for where it's popping, where it's banging. Maybe it's under the maybe it's in the torque converter cover too, who knows. But that noise is bad. We got to figure out what it is. Hopefully it's not detrimental and catastrophic. So let's get the trigger hooked up to it, get the battery put back in here, and see what we see or find or hear. Well, the diagnosis ain't too good here, but I got to run the longest it ever has. Definitely getting oil to the top because now it's spilling over on the back side there and Didn't make it over the top on this side, but we're definitely getting oil, but not to all the lifters. See how dry that one is? Got wet there, dry. So one dry, the rest of them are wet. So we're not getting oil through everything. I'm curious what that knocking is though. I think it's time to drain the oil and see what we see in there. So before I drain the oil, I'm gonna rule out one other thing. I'm gonna pull the transmission torque converter cover here, just to make sure nothing in there is loose or banging around or whatever. Make sure the starter ain't the problem. I don't know. I'm gonna figure this out. Hopefully without having to pull the motor, but we all know how that goes. So I got this thing loose, but I can't get it out without dropping the Y pipe and all that good stuff. But I hear something. I swear I heard something rattling around in there. But like I said, I can't get it out without pulling the Y pipe off. Maybe I'm just imagining things and hoping for the best. I don't know. Yeah, that thing will not come out of there without dropping the Y pipe. Get the spring-loaded style bolts. And I'll spray them down and prepare it to be dropped. Oh boy. Oh, we got the torque converter cover off. See, it's dirty in there, but I don't see anything that would have been making noise. I don't think anyways. Talk about getting a pain in the butt getting the exhaust manifold off, or the exhaust off. One of these bolts, this one right there, was tight up against the, you couldn't even put a bolt or a socket on it. Luckily, once I removed this one and that one back there, this one I was able to get a socket on it finally. It must have moved it just enough to get it, but it was up against the tube. It wouldn't let me get it off. But I finally got it off, and then I had to pry it out of there because I didn't want to take off the mount back here. Maybe I should have just done that. Probably been a lot easier, but we got it out, and I don't think there's a smoking gun there, so I think we're gonna have to drop or pull the pan, or maybe drop the oil, drain the oil, and then maybe put a scope up in there, see if we see anything in the pan. Because it's really loud down below. So we'll figure it out though. So I came out from the last time we fired it up, found this. Pretty good oil leak. Looks like it's coming from the rear main. I did put the valve cover back on, but that was leaking over on this side, so that's coming directly from the middle. And the other side isn't even leaking out the back, even though it doesn't have a valve cover on it. So I think we definitely need a rear main. So there's that. So I definitely got a feeling this motor is going to be coming out one way or the other. But we're going to drain the oil and see what we see. So draining the oil doesn't look like sparkly or anything. Doesn't mean there aren't big chunks somewhere in the bottom of that oil pan somewhere though. But yeah, once this is drained, we'll probably take a scope and go in there. Hopefully we'll just see something, but it's still dripping from the flywheel back there, or the flex plate. See if we can catch it all. There we go. All right, well, since the drain plug didn't have a magnet, I went ahead and grabbed one and stuck it up in the tube. And look at that. See that chunk? All these chunks. Yep, it's definitely something missing in there. That sucks. I just can't get a truck with a good engine, can I? Well, that's my latest round of magnetic pickup. Look at that. That's a lot of chunks. Oh well. Guess we're pulling the motor. Yay! Not anytime soon, but Now we know. Knowing this engine is bad, I still want to get it off the trailer, so I definitely going to pull it off. I'm going to drive it off, so at least I can say that I drove this thing. And this tire back here likes to lose air. I aired it up about 20 minutes ago, so 20 minutes is more than enough time for me to take it off the trailer, drive it around, and park it over here someplace. So we're going to do that probably tomorrow, and I'll have to air it back up, obviously, because you can see it's already gone down a bit. But that's what we'll do for this, and just to get off the trailer, and then we'll dig into it later on for the next video. So it's now been 40 minutes. That's how the fluid's gone down. So yep, we'll easily be able to drive it off the trailer and park it over there. All right, so I kind of want to end this video driving this truck. We know it runs, so I'm going to see if I can pull it off the trailer, bring it around, and park it over there. So let's try it out, see if we can do it. First I gotta pump the wheel up, of course, the tire up. Let's get her done. All right, here we go. Hopefully I don't get stung in this process, but well, we made it most of the way around, but she just won't stay running now. Can't imagine why. Yeah, we got her to the spot where I wanted to be. I don't know why the tire went flat quick as hell, but now it's staying up, so who knows. But it also helps when you're trying to move a basically dead vehicle. Take the parking brake off, because I had that on when I was trying to move it, drive it. So it might have made it a little bit easier. It might have made it a little bit further if that wasn't the problem. But besides the engine being the problem. But anyways, we got her where I wanted her, off the trailer. Pretty much does it for this video as far as trying to revive and drive this thing home. Well, we kind of revived it and we kind of drove it. We just didn't drive it home. But definitely gonna be some more videos on it. We're gonna be pulling the motor out next. So I'll pull it into the shop and we'll get that thing pulled out of there so you can see the real damage on the bottom end there. It definitely sounds like a rod or something in there banging. I also noticed in the video how it's kind of squawking a little bit. That kind of sounds almost transmission related to me. So I don't know. We'll have to find out, and as we dig deeper into it. It's just I think it's a 700 R4 in that one. So, you know, easy enough to find a new replacement for that. Even for the engine, I can find those. I've found a few of those on Facebook Marketplace already. So if you like this video, leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better. And subscribe while you're at it. Why not? It's free. And appreciate y'all being here. And until next time, I will see y'all later.